This is the Spin Axis Podcast, and I'm Erik Barzeski.
I'm Jayson Nickol.
And I'm Tyson Deskins. In today's episode, we are going to talk about in-season versus out-of-season swing changes and how we tackle those different changes. Erik, I'm going to throw it to you first and sort of get your thoughts on in-season versus out-of-season.
So in-season, let's call it March or April through up here, honestly through November, call it October maybe. Results matter a little bit more, right? The immediate results matter a little bit more. I'm not a big fan of, you get some people that say it like, oh, I want to rebuild my golf swing. You do a lot of things well. If you can shoot like 80, you do a lot of things really well in your golf swing already. It's never a rebuild, right? There's no rebuilding. If you have a beginner, you're rebuilding, but you're not anything, you're just building. So there's never any rebuilding. If you're going to work on a bigger piece, a more fundamental piece, a thing that has bigger downstream effects on a golfer, I like to do that starting in October, November. It's funny because I think all of us get golfers who will message us in March and they'll say like, yeah, I want to get ready for the golf season and start to work on some things. And, you haven't heard from them before, or, you last heard from them the previous March or April. In my head, I always think like, it's 2025, March, I get this email and I'm like, oh, so you mean the 2026 season you want to start to get ready for? Because you can't make big changes in 2 weeks and get ready for the golf season. So bigger changes off season, smaller changes, more immediate effect in the current season.
Yeah, I mean, the one that always cracks me up is hey, I have a guys trip in about 2 weeks and I want to beat all my friends. Well, unless all your friends are also shooting in the 90s or the hundreds, you need a little bit more time than 2 weeks. But is there something that you could give them right away that's going to help them hit the golf ball? Should be, right? Is it gonna stick over the 5 days of him playing? Probably not, because once his body gets tight, he's gonna revert back and all that pressure is gonna mount. If you're looking to make larger changes, yeah, the off season is a perfect spot to do that, because again, like we chatted about earlier, and maybe we're sounding like beating a dead horse here, but you need to remove pressure. What's putting golf scores out there? That's pressure. It doesn't matter if it's a member of a guest later in the year, or it's a $5 Nassau against your buddy. You don't want to lose that. That's going to be pressure for you.
Yeah, I think in the three of us, right, being in the North, I'm in Midwest, East, right, we get winter. I think the luxury is we all have studios that we can practice in the winter in today's world. Obviously, as the weather gets nicer and it's time to go out and play, if you haven't touched your club all winter, yeah, you're behind the 8 ball. So things from a coaching perspective, lessons change, right? Lessons change when it's time to go out and perform versus when it's November. And I think we have to get in the mode of playing for score versus playing golf swing. And I also would say just so many players don't play real golf. They hit one out of bounds, they load up another one, they don't count it. And so then they think when they actually have to play real golf that they're worse than they actually are. And so now you're talking about something totally different, not your golf swing. This is performance. And those are very different discussions that we would have with those types of players.
Yeah, whether they've taken lessons or not, they play a competition and they shoot 10 worse than they
That's right.
did. Even if it's very low stakes, a lot of people don't play quote unquote real golf for sure.
So how do we tackle somebody that we have worked with, let's say all winter, and now it's time to get outside and go play? And let's just say their first couple of rounds aren't what they want it to be. Jayson, how do you walk through that with a player?
Yeah, the first thing I always go, what's our long-term plan? Right, our long-term plan is XYZ. Whatever that is, it's the same, doing the same drills, but now we need to be able to again build the pressure into the drill that we want. So then when they go out to the course, they should hopefully feel less pressure. And then it goes, okay, well, in the time being, like let's say you're losing your driver out to the right. Well, we have our drill for what we want, but obviously the face is too open. So what are a couple of feels that you can do instantly? Just, okay, well, if we're losing it 2-3 degrees to the right, for the next week or two, let's just close the club face just a little bit more of your dress, keep the same feel that we've been working on, but now we should have a slightly different result. That's an easy fix without changing, redoing everything in all the work that we put in.
Yeah, your long-time students often, like a PGA Tour player, you ask a PGA Tour player, what are your 2 or 3 things that you check on all the time? Our long-time students, I'm guessing all of us are the same in this way. The students that we've taught for a while, we know what their checklist is. They're often not getting very new lessons. We're just reminding them of this, kind of bumping them back onto the road with this factor or this other factor over there. And so when they play golf, I'll often say, okay, so the ball was going right a little bit. What's the piece that we work on that controls that? right? Did you feel some of that? Did you check your alignment, basic stuff like that? With those people, the conversations are often a little bit easier. I taught a lesson yesterday morning, and the guy went to the range after and sent me 5 messages that because I was at my Mother's Day thing, I didn't look at till the end, which was good because I wouldn't have wanted to reply to them either. Because it was funny because it was like a play in 5 acts. It was like, hey, that thing we worked on is really good. The ball's going straight, etc. And then he's like, with my driver. I'm like, oh boy.
Yep.
It's literally hours after the lesson. With my driver, it's not going so good. Oh, this is horrible. I think I need to come back in again. It's like, dude, you were just in 4 hours ago. Then the next message is, I went back to my 7 iron and slowed down a little bit. And then I went back to my driver and now it's better. I was like, oh, okay. And then I think the 5th one was like, all right, ended on a good note. This is good. I'm going to keep going. But,
Yeah.
It's in season.
I don't need to come back in now. I'm good.
Right. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Yeah.
It's funny, but it's 100% true. I have one student that I've been teaching maybe 2.5 years now from honestly a 42 handicap, and I think he's an 8 or 9 now.
That's awesome,
right? And he'll send me the same stuff, and I love the guy. He's working so hard, but he'll send me a text and be like, oh, I just shot, 45 or something like that on the front 9 again. And then I don't reply because I'm obviously doing something else. And then about 10 minutes later, I think I just needed to slow down. And my takeaway, I see my takeaways a bit. I'm still not replying. And he's just going through all the stuff that I've told him over and over and over again. And all of a sudden, like the last message is like, yeah, I slowed it down. I did the takeaway that you want me to, and now I'm striping it again. And then I just reply, great.
I don't really have, for my own golf game, and I have some students like this as well. For my own golf game, I don't really have an in-season and out-of-season. It's not really different for me. I'm working on the same things for the past 6 years anyway. So what am I going to do differently in season? I'll go to my academy and hit some balls slow motion. Some days I'll be faster. Some days I'll slow it down a little bit when I want to exaggerate a little bit. And so I'm just working on those things, 2 things for me. And when I'm playing golf, I pick one of those 2 things. If the first thing is fine, I'll pick the second thing. If the first thing isn't great, I'll pick that one. And that's my feel for the day. And I don't really make a swing on the golf course where I don't have that feel in my body. And I call that a swing thought. And Golf Digest did a poll of tour players. And the average number of swing thoughts they have is about 4. It was 3.8 or something like that. That doesn't mean 4 per swing. It means they have, Jordan Spieth talked about how in 2015 and 17 he had 3 swing thoughts that he kind of cycled through when he was playing, and they were like, well, but when you're practicing, he goes, no, on the 18th tee at wherever he won the British Open, things like that, in a tournament, because a swing thought is just a feel. That's why you see tour players doing a rehearsal. It kind of loads the feel into their body, and then they have that feel. And it's funny to me because people will sometimes say oh, I don't want to have any swing thoughts when I play golf. I just want to see the target. Okay. If that works for you, but I don't remember the last time I ever did that without a swing thought on a golf course. Have the swing thought. That's your process. And then the outcome, the result kind of takes care of itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree with that more. And I think that's why we work so hard with players to get into a good setup for them, get into a good grip and arm structure for them, ball position, all those things. Let's check those things off of our list so we can get to the point where you have your 1 or 2 thoughts that you can really focus on consistently and go out and take it to the golf course.
Are you looking to enhance your golf swing with precision and consistency? The HackMotion Golf Swing Analyzer is your personal coach, offering real-time feedback on wrist positions throughout your swing. By pinpointing common faults like casting and flipping, HackMotion provides tailored drills to help you perfect your technique. Its user-friendly app, paired with the cutting-edge, lightweight sensor, delivers instant data, allowing you to make adjustments on the spot. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned golfer, HackMotion is designed to elevate your game. Experience the difference and take control of your swing today. SpinAxis listeners can save 5% with the coupon code SPINAXIS at checkout. Visit HackMotion at hackmotion.com.
Do you guys tend to, once it starts to get into season, do you guys give your players games to play that are sort of more skill-based? Obviously, we still have our 1 or 2 things that we're thinking about, that we're checking on. Maybe it's more than a couple, but do you also, in season, try to get players to go out and play a game maybe it's, go play the course and you got to hit 2 clubs less on every yardage or 2 clubs more just to sort of get some skill?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that I'll get my players to do in the first 5, if not 10, now again, it depends how much they golf, is I want them to journal their round. I want to know what truly is creating their poor shots. And that, I'm a big fan of strokes gained. Strokes gained's awesome. It's not going to tell you why you're missing the green from 170. It's not going to tell you why you're not getting up and down. So I want you to journal those rounds, because then the next time that you come in for your lesson, you should have okay, here are my top 2 things why I'm not hitting more greens and regulations. And then it should correlate to what we're working on. And again, from out of season to in season. Okay, well, if we know that here's our pattern we're working on, if that correlates to why you're missing it to the right, perfect. We'll just keep doing that. If it's not, well, all right, how can we bring whatever we need into that? Now, from there, once that starts getting a better spot, yeah, again, it's like, how do we build pressure on the range, and then how do we play better golf on the golf course? Worst ball is one of my favorite, but I would say that's definitely, you should be a pretty low single digit to start playing that game.
Yeah. I don't give my golfers too many games to play on the golf course. Sometimes on the range, I'll say like, okay, switch clubs off and picture the holes you're playing. If you hit a drive, picture it between this flag and that flag. And if it's in the left drive, picture how far you hit it, and then hit your second shot, whatever that's, a 7-iron or a pitch sand wedge or whatever. I'll sometimes give people something like that. Most golfers aren't what I would call serious golfers, in the sense that they're not practicing and playing like 5-6 days a week. So when they get their one time to play golf, they just want to play golf.
Absolutely.
So that's fine. I'll give them stuff that they can do at home, in their garage, in their backyard, stuff they can do at the range. But when they're on the golf course, I mostly just say, find a feel that works for you and helps you that day, and go play golf, right? Realize that your swing change is not going to be completely in there at all. It might be 2%, but if it's 2% better, fine. If you were someone that pull slice stuff and we fix the club face or we fix the path, you're going to hit either pulls or pushes depending on which one we kind of fix. Play for those, or at least go, okay, that was my push. That means I probably did that thing a little bit better. It's not a good shot though, but you can at least take solace in the fact that maybe I did that thing better, because he said I'd see some pushes because we changed my path to be a little bit more out. So you can take solace in that. With my actually serious players, I will say things like, okay, the next time you play golf, your goal is to not miss a ball left, or things like that.
Yeah.
And so they can aim at the left edge of the green and then push the ball to the middle or right side. They could still play good golf, but they have a goal of like, even if they pull one that it ends up in a good spot, like, oh, failed. I lost the challenge on that one. And I also think that the people that people play with can be important too, because if you have golfers that golf with other people that are taking lessons and kind of working on stuff, they're not always gambling. They're not always necessarily playing stuff, because there's a difference between like, you can play a round of golf and kind of practice what you're working on and not really worry too much about it. And sometimes the guys will say like, oh, I'm going to drop another one and just hit one. Maybe you don't count it, but like, you still just hit another one. Something didn't go quite right. And if you have a group of friends that's more willing to accommodate that, or they're doing the same thing, that can be a lot easier than a bunch of buddies that are always gambling with presses and automatic this and that and this all the time, where you're under constant pressure to actually make a score and not give yourself the freedom to kind of experiment and play with things on the golf course.
Yeah, for sure. I like that a lot. Let me ask you guys both this. Our last episode, we talked about motor patterns, right? You get a player in and you're working on a new pattern, and they tell you, like Jayson said, sometimes the worst is like the guy comes in, hey, I'm going on an outing this weekend with my buddies. Fix me, right? You'll sort of tell a guy, hey, go play golf. It's very common for me to hear people say, well, no, if you're telling me that this is what I need to make my golf swing be, then I don't want to go and just play golf. I want to do the thing. What is your advice for somebody who is going to go play golf and is wanting to shoot a good score, whether it's with their buddies or on their own, versus trying to make big changes while they're out on the golf course?
Yeah. First things is expectations. If you're serious about that, you need to know you're going to hit some bad shots before your brain goes, okay, we can be comfortable inside this pattern. And I saw it like Friday night, a student sent me some swings. He's like, here's my on-course swings from all the work we've been doing. And inside in his studio, it's crazy difference. And that does happen, right? There's, again, less pressure. And so swing outside on the golf course, you can see he's doing the move to about maybe 75% of the swing. And then all of a sudden the last 25, his brain goes like, no, now we got to hit the ball. Let's revert back. And it's like, wow, that's crazy difference between the way going like almost to the start of the downswing and then obviously going to hit the golf ball. And he's like, I am though still hitting the ball a lot better. which is great. And so you can see, the light at the end of the tunnel or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, you need to know, hey, I'm going to hit some bad shots because my pattern from here, whatever, like P5 through impact is not conducive to his old backswing, right? It's like, well, now we got a new backswing, but the same downswing, those don't match so well. So you're gonna hit some bad shots. But if you can remove some pressure, again, I would say it's hard when, and I ask this to my students, like, do you have a membership, right? Because if you have a membership, you're already paying for your rounds of golf, which makes it a little bit easier. But let's say you don't.
And you can go play like 7 holes or something, a small loop.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go into is I get people to go to the range, then skip the first tee, go walk out to the second hole. There's automatically less pressure there than there is on the first tee because you're like, well, people are watching me. I need to hit a good one. No, I don't care. You know what I mean? Go play the second hole, right? And then go play the third hole and the fourth hole. Then go back to the range and then repeat that. Like, obviously, not everyone's as conducive. Like, your range might be 5 minutes from there. But if you have the ability to do that, that's huge because you're moving pressure. And then you go, okay, am I doing what I've been doing on the range? Videotape it again, have some feedback, or ask your buddy to watch. Hopefully, he's got a good keen eye. And then that's a way of building in that pressure on the golf course, right? And then it's like, okay, then you go play with your buddy and play 3 holes with a little bit of pressure. Again, you're not posting that score. It's just a couple holes to build pressure into that pattern.
Yeah, I like that. I think, again, going back to previous episodes and even in this one, to Erik, keeping it simple, right? And knowing your couple of things. That's why it's so important to have a coach. You get so many people in today's world, I'm just going to figure it out on TikTok, or I'm going to figure out how to swing a golf club, on YouTube. And there's a lot of great information out there, obviously, but it could be terrible for you. You have to know your couple of things. And if you can do that and keep it simple, build this into a routine, I like your odds of being able to take those swing changes that you worked on inside, outside, and having some success.
So the one thing that I was going to say to what Jayson said, where he has people play 3 holes and then go back to the range, maybe it's similar to what I've said previously on this show, but I will have my students have a mini practice session off to the side, just go over to the side, exaggerate the crap out of their feel several times, just off to the side, just hit the grass, just hit the dandelions or some weeds or tops of the grass, make some swings off to the side that feel exaggerated and refresh that feel in their body. And so if you're playing just 18 holes, you can do that because you come off the range, you warmed up. The purpose of a warm-up is to warm up, but a lot of people can't resist practicing a little bit or exaggerating things a little bit on the range, and that's fine. That's going to happen. But after the 3rd hole, step to the side and have a little practice session. After the 6th hole, step to the side and have a little practice session, right? Your buddies aren't even going to notice. Maybe one of them is in the John and the other one's just worried about like collecting his golf clubs that he left scattered around the last green, and you have time to do those things off to the side during a round.
Love that. He's probably eating his cold, half-eaten hot dog, trying to get some energy for the rest of the round, right?
Yep.
All right, fellas. Big thanks to Erik and Jayson for another killer episode. Such a great conversation. And hey, if you're enjoying the Spin Axis, do us a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, leave a quick review, and share this with a buddy who loves the game. We've got more great content coming your way.
And remember, you can always find us on all social medias at The Spin Axis and online at thespinaxis.com.
Take care.